Ooh, child. Testing, testing, testing. Can you hear me? Let me know. Where's my phone? Oh my God, I'm so unprepared. Hey there, besties. We back in this biatch. Is this what's going on my day off? I'm supposed to be getting my nails done. Clearly, that's not going to happen because, child, it looks like the damn indictment has come out. Now, we're supposed to be waiting for a news conference, but it looks like they gave up the information already. So, all this other stuff I was about to look at, F it. We're going straight into it. Shout out to everybody who is here. Please make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Now, when the press conference comes on, we'll definitely take a look at it. But damn it, they let it out anyway. It's out. Child, this is crazy. Again, what isn't crazy though, child? I blame Cat Williams. I blame Cat Williams, child. Anyway, so this is the sealed, and somebody be on watch for the press conference, please. Please, 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 please. So the United States District Court, Southern District, which everyone was talking about, they knew. Is this where Law and Order people go, child? USA, it's all of us versus Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Diddy, P. D. Love. They forgot Brother Love up in there, but I digress. Count one, racketeering conspiracy. Oh no, the grand jury charges, child. We just got to get straight into it. We ain't got all day. For decades, oh no. Not for decades. Shout out to Mama Gemini. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. For decades, Diddy, because I'm not naming all them names, the defendant abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. To do so, Combs relied on the employees, resources, and influence of the multifaceted business empire that he led and controlled, creating a criminal enterprise whose members and associates engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other crimes, ex-trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. To no news to anyone, but child, I got to make it sound good. So Diddy, the defendant, operated his business headquartered at various times in Manhattan and Los Angeles under a variety of United States-based corporate entities, including Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprises, and Combs Global, collectively the Combs Business. Corporate entities in the Combs business included, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, an apparel line, an alcoholic spirits business, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. I guess that's in order to keep everything confused. No shade, allegedly, kind of like what Big Tiff does. Have a bunch of crap so you don't know where the money resides, right? At all times relevant to this indictment, Puffy, the defendant, engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse toward women and other individuals. This abuse was at times verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual. As part of his pattern of abuse, Combs manipulated women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual essay with male commercial ex-workers. At times, Combs and others, acting at his discretion, because Diddy made me do it, made arrangements for women and commercial ex-workers to fly to Combs' location because they weren't willing participants. Combs ensured participation from the women by, among other things, obtaining and distributing narcotics to them, controlling their careers, leveraging his financial support, and threatening to cut off the same and using intimidation and violence. Well, to no surprise. Shout out to Amanize. Thank you so much, hon. Hey, y'all. Rico, shaking my head. They trying to make him flip. I just want to know if they're going to take everybody else. Or they just going to put it all on him and forget everybody else who participated, because he didn't do this all by himself. That's the part that always drives me nuts. Like, you think he did this all on his own? Come on now. Is everybody a part of this? You taking everybody down? Now, they won't take the women down, of course, because, poor women's want to be equal until it's time to be equal, then don't want to be equal. But I digress. Diddy, physical abuse by Diddy. was recurrent and widely known. Widely known, okay? It was widely known for decades, and yet people still wanted to be around him, go around him willingly, including women. But just ignore the fact that they just said it was widely known. On numerous occasions from at least in or about 2009 and continuing for years, Combs assaulted women by, among other things, striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. Now, this was widely known, y'all. These assaults were at times witnessed by others and included one instance at a LA hotel in or about March 2016, which was captured on video and later publicly reported, where Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a woman as she was attempting to leave. When a member of the hotel security staff intervened, Combs attempted to bribe the staff member to ensure silence. Combs' violence was also not limited to these women. It extended to his employees, witnesses to his abuse, and others. Diddy used the Combs business, including certain employees, to carry out, facilitate, and cover up his abuse and commercial acts. Those employees, including security staff, household staff, personal assistants, high-ranking supervisors, and other close associates, acted as Combs's intermediaries, and their conduct was facilitated and assisted by Combs' control of the Combs business. So where they names at? I guess they forgot to put them in here. The Combs Enterprise, from at least or about 2008 through on or about the date of the filing of this indictment, Diddy and others known and unknown were members and associates of a criminal organization. The Combs Enterprise, or the Enterprise. Sounding a lot like Nino Brown up in here. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise engaged in and attempted to engage in, among other activities, X-trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of X work, coercion and enticement to engage in X work, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The Combs Enterprise, including its leadership, its members, and its associates, constituted an enterprise as defined by Title 18, U.S. Code, blah, 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 blah. That is, a group of individuals associated, in fact, although not a legal entity. The Combs consisted of Sean, Puffy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, blah, blah. We know all the names. Entities within the Combs business included but not limited to Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs Enterprise, and Combs Global. Individuals employed by and associated with the Combs business, and others known and unknown. Excuse me. The Combs Enterprise constituted an ongoing organization whose members function as a continuing unit for a common purpose of achieving the objectives of the Combs Enterprise. Lord, the Combs Enterprise was engaged in and its activities affected interstate and foreign commerce. The Combs Enterprise operated in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere. At all times relevant to this indictment, Puffy was the leader of the Combs Enterprise. So in other words, they're going to let everyone else go. Shout out to Supreme 10. He said if he's being charged with felonious X-trafficking, Sean Combs will not see the inside of the federal courtroom at 26 Federal Plaza. He won't? You don't think that they're going to, or you think he won't see the outside? Is that what you're trying to say? Or am I not understanding what you're saying? Diddy and others known and unknown. All right, I think I got that. Purpose of the Combs Enterprise. What was the purpose of Diddy coming from the bottom? Now he's here. So clearly no racism, white supremacy, or anything stopped him from being able to, make it to where he's at. Should there be any doubt? Okay, let me click on off of there, but I see you. So this is the reason why Diddy started from the bottom. Now he's here. Operating a global business in the media, entertainment, and lifestyle industries, including, among other things, record labels, a recording studio, apparel line, alcohol experience, a marketing agency, and a television network and media company. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power, reputation, and brand of all his names. Enriching members and associates of the enterprise. Oh, so in other words, he was bringing other people on too, and they were benefiting, but we don't want to bring them into this indictment. That's what we saying? That's what I'm hearing. Maybe it's just me. Preserving, protecting, promoting, and enhancing the power of the Combs enterprise, including the power of its leader, Combs, through violence, use of firearms, threats of violence, coercion, and verbal, emotional, physical, and essay. Fulfilling the personal desires of Combs, particularly those related to Combs' actual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial ex workers. Enabling Combs and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise to engage in unlawful acts of violence, including SV, ST, forced labor, slavery? Is it slavery? Interstate transportation for purposes of X work, coercion, and enticement to engage in X work, narcotics distribution, and other crimes, and concealing the commission of such acts. So they ain't let everybody know. Is that what they're saying? Securing absolute loyalty from members of the Combs enterprise, including through acts of violence and threats, and protecting the Combs enterprise and its members and associates, including Combs, from detection and prosecution by law enforcement authorities through acts of intimidation, manipulation, bribery, and threats of retaliation against individuals who witnessed the crimes committed by members and associates of the enterprise. And don't forget what they said initially is that this was all known for decades. Everybody knew for decades. Okay. That's sticking in my mind. Okay. Shout out to Dane C in the building. I see you, hon. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Always good to see you. He said, Michonne the Hyena Slayer. Hey, long time no see. As long as you're here for the good stuff, boo. And this is good stuff. The indictment has been sent out for Diddy. We're going through it while we wait for the press conference. Mama Gemini or whoever, if you see the press conference start, let me know, and we will go right to it. In the meantime, they dropped this already. Means and methods of the enterprise. Big Tiff, are you taking notes, girl? Big Tiff, are you taking notes? Among the means and methods by which Sean Combs, who we know, and other members and associates of the Combs enterprise conducted and participated in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise included the following. Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise wielded the power and prestige of Combs's role at the Combs business to intimidate, threaten, and lure female victims into Combs's orbit. I'm pretty sure they didn't have to try too hard, okay? Often under the pretense of a romantic relationship. Oh, no. I think I love you. Combs then used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended X acts with male commercial X workers that Combs referred to as, among other things, freak-offs. Freak-offs, here we go, were elaborate and produced X performances that Combs arranged, directed, self-pleasured during, and often electronically recorded. That nigga kept all the evidence. That's why they ran up in there taking computers and whatnot. That's how they found that Cassie video. He paid for it and he kept... Narcissist. Is that not a narcissist? Child. Lauren, I totally forgot about the word freak-offs. Now here we are. Child, now here we are. This is crazy. Shout out to Frederick Howard. Thank you so much for the super sticker, honey. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you all for being here. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. We're waiting on the press conference, but the indictment has already been dropped. Shout out to you, Dane C, for another 2. He said Diddy had plenty of time to prepare for this. That is true. Now, he was supposed to get arrested today, but they took him yesterday for some reason. There's a video of him parading around in New York like he was having the time of his life. Maybe he was just doing what he needed to do before everything came down, child. Freak-offs. Well, okay, we said what that was. In arranging these freak-offs, Combs, with the assistance of members and associates of the Combs enterprise, transported and caused to be transported commercial ex-workers across state lines and internationally. What's a commercial ex worker? Like commercial, like do you do commercials or you do it specifically for companies and not for just measly men on the corner or something? You know, this is stuff I think about, right? During freak-offs, Combs distributed a variety of controlled substances to victims, in part to keep the victims obedient and compliant. This is like slavery, y'all. Y'all, this sounds like slavery. I'm sorry. This is crazy. Sometimes unbeknownst to the victims, Combs kept videos he filmed of course he did. Why go through all this if he didn't keep it? I just didn't think he would keep it all now, given videos he filmed of victims engaging in X acts with commercial ex-workers. After freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Let me tell y'all something, okay? If I need fluids afterwards, then I don't want it. If I got to get intravenous fluids after X, I don't want it. That's crazy. Like, yeah, you want to have some water. You might want to have something to drink. But child, intravenous, this is crazy. This is crazy. Shout out to Derwin the Destroyer. He said the videos got to be blurry. They might be VHS. They might be DVDs. This is not funny. Be serious. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including high-ranking supervisors, security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and other Combs business employees, facilitated the freak-offs by, among other things, booking hotel rooms for the freak-offs, stocking the hotel rooms in advance with the required freak-off supplies. Check that off your bingo card today. The required freak-off supplies, including controlled substances, baby oil, lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. Was there a ring light? Is that what you mean? Cleaning the hotels after the freak-offs to try to mitigate room damage, arranging for travel for victims, commercial ex-workers, and Combs to and from freak-offs, resupplying Combs with requested supplies. I don't hear nobody talking about condoms. Delivering large sums of cash to Combs to pay the commercial ex-workers. Oh, so they were paid for their services? And scheduling the delivery of IV fluids. So is there a doctor that's in on this too? In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, and LA, California, law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Did we know that we should have been investing in baby oil and lube? Child, somebody check on that. Is that in Anton's, what is this thing called? His Patreon, the Bag Chasers? Shout out to SKC up in here. Oh, this is a mess, SKC. Combs subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freak-offs. Combs maintained control over his victims through, they really making it sound like they're like, I got you. This is slavery. This is the real slavery right here. Combs maintained control over his victims through, among other things, physical violence, promises of career opportunity. Promises of career opportunity. Shout out to Bill Cosby. Promises of career opportunities, granting and threatening to withhold financial support. Oh, that's not going to bode well for, what was his name? Ray, the one that said he lived with him for a year while he was doing the Love album and then he didn't give him the money. Threatening to withhold financial support and by other coercive means, including tracking their whereabouts, dictating the victim's appearance, monitoring their medical records, controlling their housing, and supplying them with controlled substances. Clearly, allegedly, somebody got turned out around here, okay? Somebody got turned out around here. But let's not forget that they said this has been decades and widely known for decades. Anyway, shout out to Casey Cat. Thank you so much, hon. She said Drake's got to be shaking in his slippers. Why y'all? What did Drake do? Does Drake don't work for Diddy? Does he? What Drake do? What I'm missing, y'all? What I'm missing? I can't keep up with all these people. I just can't do it. Drake, I feel like it's been quiet since his house got SHOT'd up. I feel like I haven't heard or seen anything about him in a while. Anyway, let me know what's up with Drake, y'all. During and separate from freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. These assaults often resulted in injuries that took days or weeks to heal. Combs also threatened victims' careers and livelihoods, including if they resisted participating in freak-offs. Victims believed they could not refuse Combs' demands without risking their financial or job security or without repercussions in the form of physical or emotional abuse. Is he getting out today? Casey Cat said Drake is deeply involved in no, allegedly. We using the word allegedly today, child. Don't bring me up in there. None of this. We just reading. Combs also used the sensitive, embarrassing, and incriminating recordings that he made during freak-offs as collateral to ensure the continued obedience and silence of the victims. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can see that. That's why he kept it. Uh-oh. All right, y'all. All right. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Let me find who's child. This is crazy. Oh, Rich Homie Quan's funeral services today, if y'all cared. Just FYI. They're just pulling up to the podium. Oh, rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan. I guess I should have been looking for this. Let me see if it's CBS. Child, this is crazy. This is freaking ridiculous. Oh, here we go. The Associated Press, child. All right, they gathering. All right, I'm gonna keep reading and leave it on here while we wait. Ooh, Lord. Multitasking going on around here, child. All right. Lord have mercy. This too much. Lord. All right. Combs also used this. Okay, so he used the tapes against people. I totally can see that. Members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs' security personnel. Isn't that dude that always be talking, run off at the mouth? What is his name? He had some dude that's been run off at the mouth ever since this happened. And how come he's not named? I forget his name. Members and associates of Combs Enterprise, including Combs' security personnel, at times carried firearms. Well, they are security. On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. Now, you know that Diddy's daddy was a gangsta. So, this kind of just falls in line. Yes, Gene Deal. Shout out to CIP. Yes, shout out to CIP in the building. That's exactly who it was. He running off at the mouth all over the place. So, why ain't he named? Thank you, OG Drew. OG Do. Thank you. Shout out to Selma in the building. I see you, hon. I appreciate you being here. Shout out to everyone who is here. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. I'm reading the indictment, which has already been put out onto the internet while we're waiting for them to start. Is this it? All right, y'all. Right. Allegedly. What What are y'all doing? If there was ever a shortage of baby oil, we know where it went. If there was ever a shortage of baby oil, y'all, we know where it went. We might get, this could be an investment, y'all. Like, even though Diddy probably ain't buying no more going forward, doesn't mean that other people ain't doing it. That's all I'm saying. Because there's a lot of associates who we don't see their names up in here, child. You think people would calm down? Shout out to Big Tiff, okay? Shout out to Big Tiff. So they just walked out there to get our hopes up. Oh, it ain't even 11:30. All right, let me continue with reading while we waiting for them, child. They messing up my flow. All right, so they just said they're going to be late. All right. So members and associates of the Combs enterprise, including Combs security personnel, carried firearms, okay? On more than one occasion, Combs himself carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten others, including victims of and witnesses to his abuse. We're still demonetized today. In or about March 2024, during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida, LA, California, law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. Child, I don't know what a drum magazine is, but I don't know damn well you ain't supposed to be making the serial numbers not be there. Is Diddy a gremlin? Is Diddy a Pukna? So AR, I forget what it stands for. Shout out to y'all though. 15s. Well, he's an adult, but why? Come on. Can I just rant for a second? I got to rant for a second before they get started. First of all, started from the bottom, now you here in order to waste it all over some damn biatches. Because you can't control your libido? Because you think you rule the world? Shout out to Curtis Blow. So you think that you just gonna do whatever the hell? Did you not see what happened to Harvey Weinstein? Did you not? Thank you, child. I'll remember it one of these days. Armalite, thank you. Did you not see what happened to Matt Lauer? Did you not see what happened to that other dude from NBC or CBS where Gail is working now? They took all those people down, and you just said I'm a double, triple, and quadruple down and continue on, not change shit, not do anything different, right? And now here you are. Child, I ain't got no empathy for none of these people, but definitely not for Diddy. Wasted. However, I would like to also say, don't forget that Roland, Joy, Ricky, y'all, I'm going to keep saying it, okay? They said that y'all can't get nowhere because of white supremacy, discrimination, and racism. And you all need to make sure you vote for Cam. All right? Uh-oh. United States versus Sean. Oh, those must be the the firearms, the ARs. Look at us right on time. Look at that. Girl, get out the way.
Yes, I'm speaking to you. Musty tether, where you fleeing to? Musty tether, yes, I'm speaking to you. Musty tether, where you fleeing to? I got into my Uber. What did I see?
Keep listening to Roland and them. Keep listening to Roland and them. Excuse me. It looks like here's another person where white supremacy, discrimination, and racism and redlining and all that didn't stop Diddy from amassing this whole empire and wasting it. What a freaking waste. Now I'm mad. Because then Negroes will be saying that we ain't got no generational wealth. Nigga, look at this. Look at where we are, over some biatches, over because you can't control your dick. Let's be honest. Power then gone to your head. You think you undamn touchable. You see what happened with Bill Damn Cosby from how long ago? When Bill Cosby was doing what he was doing, I don't care what nobody says. I was here, you heard? You were allowed to do that shit. I'm not saying it's right. I don't know what you want from me. People was roofing like it was not a problem. Why do we have 2020 or so standards based off of 1960, 50, and 70s? It was known. He wasn't the only one. Hell, what do y'all think, for those that know, was happening at Hugh Hefner's freaking Playboy Mansion? That was a thing. Studio 54. Those were things back then, and that's just all I know about. Oh my God. I can't take it. I just can't take it. Just be squandering our opportunities. Is this how he helped the black community though? Remember they said that? Whatever we were reading yesterday. He helped the black community with freak offs, with these ARs, with the scratched off serial numbers, with taking people for freak offs. That's how he was helping the community. Hell, this was started. Listen, talk about Jennifer Lopez all you want to. At least she got out.
Morning, everyone.
Hey, boyfriend.
My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York.
Oppressor.
Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs's electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contained images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches.
Pictures.
As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well that we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things.
All right.
First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877-4HSI-TIP. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI Trafficking in Person Squad in New York. They have been with us since day one and have worked tirelessly on this investigation. They will continue to be invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SDNY who have also provided tremendous assistance on this case. I'm deeply grateful for their continued work. And finally, I want to thank the outstanding career prosecutors from SDNY who are handling this case. Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smizer, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleiter,
Child, what is this, an acceptance speech for the Grammys? Is this it?
Civil Rights Unit in our criminal division. We created the Civil Rights Unit when I became U.S. Attorney. I'm deeply proud of their work on this and so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Uh-oh. Come on.
Eric Katursky, ABC.
Damian, thanks. The indictment
describes aggressive, open, violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long
reporter.
to intervene? How many women were victimized
No,
by Sean Combs, and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so long. I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today. And we are committed to making sure that justice is done. Next question.
Julia Ainsley, NBC.
Thank you for doing this. You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Janet Fisher, Newsday.
What's the difference between the sex trafficking and promoting travel for the purpose of prostitution?
Well, there are different crimes with different elements. I don't think we should get into the nitty-gritty of the legal discussion right now, but the sex trafficking, we believe, they're all serious offenses, but the sex trafficking conduct carries some significant penalties, and we are gratified that we were able to bring that charge.
One more coercive than the other?
I'm not going to be able to get into that, but you can look it up, and yes, sex trafficking, especially when it involves coercion or force, is a very serious crime, and it carries significant penalties.
Good afternoon, Darla Miles, ABC7 New York. Thank you for this press conference and for the details. 2 questions. In context of this indictment and the information that was presented to the grand jury, are you able to clarify the number of victims? It's mentioned plural in the indictment, but can you specify the number of victims just for this particular indictment? And secondly, can you provide details about the alleged arson?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide either. The number of victims, you are correct. We are intentional in saying multiple. The details of the arson incident are limited to what we have in the indictment and also the detention letter that we filed, which contains more details than the indictment does at various points, but we don't have anything more beyond that. Next question.
Lynn Tran, CNN.
Are any of his accomplices or associates under investigation?
Yes.
And additionally, could he face any more charges?
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him. Next question.
Juliet Papa.
Hi, good morning from 1010 Wins. Any indication that some of the women or victims here were imprisoned in his residences, and did he have locations where he kept them, and were not allowed to leave? And also, he's indicted here, although there were searches and raids in LA, Miami. Why in New York?
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing some of the most impactful, sprawling, complex, difficult sex trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it. The Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from. It's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that. As to your question about whether he imprisoned anyone, all I can say is that, I mentioned this March 2016 incident where something was caught on video where a victim was attempting to flee, and there was violence that was associated with it.
Was that at the residence?
That was at a hotel.
Matthew Lee, Inner City Press.
Thanks a lot. Does your office intend to seek remand, or are you reaching a bail package? And if you're willing, how would you contrast this with the R. Kelly case in EDNY in terms of the elements? Thanks.
So we will be seeking detention. We have filed a letter laying out our reasoning for seeking pretrial detention. I'm not going to be able to expand beyond what's in the letter, but it contains all of the reasoning, and it contains the law as well. There is a presumption of detention in a case like this, and we think that's warranted.
John Anise, New York Daily News.
Thank you. I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the guns, the cases of lubricant, and the videos. Where were they found amongst his residence? Were they all scattered around the houses in one place? So I kind of wanted to just get a better picture of how that stuff was found.
Well, look, I think that some of the details that you're seeking are in the detention letter. So, for instance, some of the AR-15s. 2 of the 3 defaced AR-15s were found in his bedroom closet in Miami, broken down into parts along with magazines with ammunition loaded in them. So some of that detail is in the detention letter. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to get into where other items were stored.
Ben Kochman, Post.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Your office was the office that had been prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein before he died in custody. I have not read your detention memo yet. It's the first thing I'm going to do after this ends. But does the memo address, or is your office concerned with Combs's safety in custody, given what happened with Epstein?
So we are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial. It's part of our obligations to keep people safe as well. It's part of the criminal justice system. So, but I do not draw any sort of connection between Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and what may or may not happen to any other defendant while they are detained pre-trial. And of course, the decision whether to detain the defendant will be up to a judge. Our position is that pretrial detention is warranted under the law and based on the facts of this case. And I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full. Next question.
Gus Rosendale, NBC News.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally and with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity and it no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context. So responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Mike Sisak, AP.
Thanks. To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of details as to how he was taken into custody and when. He is in custody right now. He will be appearing in court later today.
Was there any discussion of him surrendering, given they claim he's cooperating?
I'm not going to be able to get into law enforcement tactics or operations. Well, I can't get into the charging decision. It is very meaningful to us that weapons were possessed, as we allege in the indictment. Part of the reason why this conduct was so pervasive and harmful was because victims and others didn't necessarily feel comfortable denying him his wishes, as we allege, because of the presence of firearms. I should leave it there.
Thanks. Last question, Jacob Shamison.
Jacob Shamsian, Business Insider. Thank you. Given that he's the sole defendant in this case and that you allege he's part of a conspiracy that involves members of his companies, do you anticipate a superseding indictment that bring allegations against other members of his companies or other co-conspirators as well?
I can't take anything off the table. Anything is possible. Our investigation is very active and ongoing. And I think a lot of you who cover this office know that when we say such things, that developments are certainly foreseeable, but I cannot predict them sitting here today. All right, thank you, everyone.
What part of his business empire
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Forget it. Did you see all the biatches lined up? He's the only man. All the rest, there they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 biatches. bunch of women because then people will be all upset. Child, this is a mess. This is a mess. Okay. What have we learned from this? They ain't telling us shit. Okay. There, of course, we know that there's more to it. They listen, we don't know why they took them early, but there's a reason they took them early. They're supposed to do it today. They did it yesterday for a reason. Will he get out then? What if they said, no, you can't, you can't get out because you're too much of a flight risk? This means RICO, right? Right, y'all? Based off of what they said. So he can't go nowhere. He can't have no passport. Will he get out? Jeffrey Epstein wasn't allowed out, was he? And Jeffrey Epstein had been convicted before, and then he got out and then still did it again. This is crazy. All right. Well, Big Mac says that he thinks that he'll get out. So this thing right here with the weapons, right? I don't think it's a big deal that Diddy has weapons. I don't think that's a big deal. I think the big deal is the fact that he has them with shaved off serial numbers is the big deal. So it's possible, they're going to run that to see if it's been involved with anything, see if the bullets, match any, if it matches with any bullets or whatever. That's what they definitely going to be doing. Diddy. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? All for some ass? Because you couldn't control yourself. It would have been easier for you to just get some counseling, child. Get a psychiatrist, psychologist, something like that. Child. The baby oil, y'all invest in some baby oil and lubricant, okay? We've learned that today. It's okay. Like somebody said in the chat earlier, first of all, this has been known for decades, and yet there was no shortage of people who would go to Diddy, look for help from Diddy, look for a career from Diddy. That is male and female alike, nothing else, but anybody would still go to him. Everybody knew what was going on. Plenty of people didn't say anything. But now, in my obsidian voice, everybody's supposed to be all, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You knew what you were doing. You knew what was going on. And you participated. Now it's all his fault. Now, when we were watching this last night and they said that the girl from way back when that said she was raped not only once where she lived, but then she got on the flight. Like, are y'all not hearing this? Like when we were listening to it, when we covered it, the girl was in a speakeasy to begin with. And then she was allegedly raped, not by Diddy, in the bathroom where she was. And then they said, girl, you want to go see Diddy? And everything was okay. Okay. And got on a plane and went over to his house and then allegedly got raped there. And then even academics brought it up and said 17 was the age of consent. But they're like, oh, well, with feds, it doesn't matter. What kind of mess is that? Like, nobody has any accountability around here at all with regard to anything. Am I saying that Puffy was right for what he did? I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is, excuse me, is that adults be making these dumbass decisions. And then when they get into trouble, it's everybody else's fault. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's all included. That's all in. How are we ever going to advance at all? I'm not even talking about Black people. I'm just talking about people, period, where every time that you do something wrong, nobody's parents are teaching them that you need to pay, the result of what your decisions are your consequences, whether they be good, whether they be bad. Because people love to take the good, don't they? But they never want to take the bad. So somewhere in someone's mind, I'm supposed to give a damn that Cassie went back. I do not. So Cassie didn't know, even though everybody knew, everybody was involved, decades long. She got out. She went to somebody else. She didn't want the tape to get out. Well, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Not y'all. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily me. I'm just saying, like, what do y'all expect? You gonna hang out with degenerate. You're gonna turn into a degenerate. That's it. This is not rocket science. I'm just so confused. And then they keep saying women and other people. When you hear that in not only in this indictment, but even the dude that just said it. I'm gonna go back to this indictment in a second. Women and others. So you're trying to throw that out there that he did this to women. Okay, why don't you just say people? His associates, his artists or whatever, but they want to throw out women. Okay, so they're more special than everybody else? No. Plenty of women right now are doing the same damn thing willingly for the fame, for the money, even for the drugs, for the high Bristophilia, whatever, willingly. But now all of a sudden, everybody's supposed to be outraged. None of this is really surprising. You know, the baby oil, that's a surprise. The shaved off weapons, that's a surprise. Like, come on, nigga. You know damn well, just have your crap. Like, you can't have it. But he also bears enough responsibility for this dumb shit. He bears responsibility for this dumbness. This is stupid. This is just stupid. Everybody is crazy. Shout out to Rainbow Kid. Gonna be the reporter for Messy Michonne Live. Shout out to you. He said, did you hear? He said, male ex-workers. What was that about? Okay, they mentioned that. Yes, for sure. Because Diddy wants it all. He wants it all. And that's not, I promise you, I've always thought that he went both ways. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's not going to stop me from listening to bad boy music. It ain't going to stop me from listening to nothing from the 90s. Nothing from the 2000s. I didn't listen to the Love album. It don't change none of that for me. I don't care. I don't give a damn. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do with me. Y'all gonna take him to jail? I just think that you need to be taking a whole lot of other people down there with him because they got paid to do those things that you just named, that we've been reading. Those people got paid to do it. And then after Cassie, then all of a sudden Gene Deal allegedly wants to start talking, wants to be giving out details. The whole damn thing starts with, well, everyone knew. Everyone knew. Just like with R. Kelly. Somebody just said it earlier in the chat. What about the parents from Maryland? Took their kids to the damn concert in the front damn row, then sent your kid off with them, and then all of a sudden you all crazy because she don't want to come home and allegedly she's locked in there. You don't hold them parents accountable for that? No, nobody else. How did Justin Bieber and Usher get to be alone with Diddy for all that time? So everybody just dropped their kids off? So we just going to ignore all that? We just ignore it. So, not us, because we ain't got no control over that. But what people ignore are the other people who allow the shit to happen. How does Usher and Bieber go to camp with Diddy as an adult and date children? How? All them people, all those kids, and you're never ever going to convince me that Michael Jackson did anything to them kids, so save it. But how them kids get there? Wasn't no Ubers. How them kids get there? It wasn't no damn lifts. How they get there? Taxi in California? No. Just like they didn't care then, they don't care now about these damn kids. Then people looking at like, how did this happen? Because everybody got their price. And they give up their kids for the price that they want and need. There were shout out to Grape Tea News in the building. He said, facts, Michonne and I covered the R. Kelly case multiple times a few years back. We exposed the hypocrisy and the parents were at fault too. Absolutely. But also, child, I've been thinking about how I'm going to start doing some different videos. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want someone else to do what I'm thinking about, right? But when R. Kelly was on trial, just like Grape Tea said, there were women that specifically went down there, girls that went down there knowing what was going on. They knew what it was. All those people around R. Kelly, and he the only one in jail when he's a dummy, allegedly, with a 3rd grade education or something like that. Money talks a lot, but we just want to ignore all that. Just ignore it all. Don't worry about it. It's not their fault. It's only R. Kelly's fault. It's only Diddy's fault. Diddy gonna go down. It's not even a question, right? It's not even a question. But what if the videos get out? Like, are more videos gonna come out? Are more videos of whatever happened gonna come out? That's gonna be, oh Lord. And what if they're gonna put out videos of when they went through showing when they found like the baby oil and stuff? That is new information. I'll read this in a second, Will Quill. Danny said, F Gene Deal. If Gene did his job, Kim Porter may still be alive. Kim, Heavy D. I was just watching, I think I put it in one of the videos, Heavy D, in The Boys the other day. And isn't it Kim, Heavy D, Craig Mack? And I'm not saying that he did anything, and I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't. But it was those three, and then I feel like it was Biggie, Tupac, all people surrounding him that ain't here no more. But the one that hurts my heart is Heavy D. I love me some Heavy D. Not that the rest of them, deserve anything at all. I'm not saying that. But nobody was all, into it then. Nobody was worried about it then, right? Shout out to Will Quill, member for 5 months. I appreciate you, honey. He said, how many girls brought their homegirls? Exactly. There was a girl that said that, Will Quill, when we were, Karesha brought her damn family. It's on video. Oh, known for decades, Karesha went on over there. Now, listen, clearly she, did what she had to do. She ain't have a problem with it, right? You know what she said happened over there, golden showers and whatnot, and probably more. But she wanted the money. She wanted to be shopping. She did. I think she really, eventually fell in love with Diddy. She a city girl, so the freak offs probably wasn't a big deal to her. You know what I mean? But she was over there all good in the hood, thinking that was his girl. You was his girlfriend. Yeah, you were his girlfriend, but you wasn't his only anything. She was good with it. Long as she got some money, it was all good in the hood. And there was plenty of other people, including 50 Cent's baby damn mama, who is an ex-worker. Now going to try to act innocent. They just said that they brought in commercialized? I think they said commercial ex-workers. Child, what do you work for? The corporations? Is that what you're saying? Child. Sorry, Will Quill. If Instagram was out then, 50 Cent would be bragging about, 50% would be bragging about it. I agree. People just out here telling on themselves now. Child, this is half damn crazy. Let me go back to the indictment and finish this mess. It sounded like he was reading it initially, but he didn't go over the whole thing, meaning the ASA guy that was just on. I forgot about her. Frederick Howard said, Lori Harvey, you ain't safe either. Maybe she got a clue, just like J-Lo said, As soon as that incident happened, J-Lo said, I'm out. I don't give one damn, even though he probably wasn't as bad then as he is now. And again, don't forget that Puffy's dad was a gangsta. You know what I'm saying? But back to this, child. This is crazy. Associates of Combs Enterprise enabled Combs' control over victims. So you see how they're painting it like they had to do what Diddy said by following his directions regarding financial payments to victims, advancing or suppressing the victims' career opportunities, and acquiring the controlled substances Combs used to keep the victims compliant. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise at times witnessed Combs' violence toward the victims or the victims' injuries caused by Combs without intervening. Instead, members and associates of the Combs Enterprise helped conceal the violence and abuse by, among other things, assisting Combs in monitoring and preventing victims from leaving locations such as hotels or Combs' residence. These occasions included instances in which a victim was required to remain in hiding, sometimes for several days at a time, to recover from injuries Combs inflicted without being publicly observed. Members and associates of the Combs Enterprise also assisted Combs in locating and contacting victims who attempted to flee his abuse. So I guess as long as they gave up the tea, they get absolved. So as long as they give up the information, all these people who were a part of it all these years, because everybody knew about it, they get absolved because they gave up a little bit of detail. When Combs' authority or reputation was threatened by the possibility of negative publicity or legal or law enforcement action against him, including in or about late 2023, following public allegations of Combs' crimes, Combs and members and associates of the enterprise pressured witnesses and victims, including through attempted bribery, to stay silent and not report what they experienced or knew to law enforcement. On phone calls, Combs and other members and associates of the enterprise, among other things, provided these victims and witnesses with a false narrative of events in an effort to conceal Combs' crimes. Combs caused these calls to be recorded on at least 2 occasions and probably kept it. He recorded the crap and probably kept it. The racketeering conspiracy, well, there you go. From at least in or about 2008 through on or about the date of filing of this indictment in the Southern District of New York, Diddy and others, known and unknown, being persons employed by and associated with the Combs Enterprise described in paragraph 6 through 12 of this indictment, an enterprise engaged in the activities of which affected interstate and foreign commerce, knowingly combined, conspired, confederated, and agreed together and with each other to violate the racketeering laws of the U.S., that code, to conduct and participate directly and indirectly in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity in that code. So it's RICO. Everybody, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. We're going over the details of the indictment after they've already had their press conference to let us know that they really ain't much more to let us know, except for the serial numbers and well, no, we already knew that. The investigation is ongoing. So he did say later on today is when I guess Puffy goes in front of a judge. Bets on if he's going to get out or not. Yay or nay? Is Puffy gonna get out? Yay or nay to await trial? And how long? He could be right next to Lamar Whitehead. Don't forget he down there too. Lamar back in federal prison. Is R. Kelly in New York prison? Child, you got Lamar. If R is there, he gonna be in good company, child. Who else is over in that biatch? Multiple acts involving kidnapping chargeable under the following provisions of state law, California. All right. Multiple acts involving bribery chargeable under California. Multiple acts indictable. Tampering with a witness, victim, or an informant. Relating to forced labor, that's slavery. Relating to X trafficking. Relating to transportation and inducement for travel for purposes of X work and other illegal activities, multiple offenses involving the possession with intent to distribute or distribution of narcotics and controlled substances, including cocaine, oxycodone, alprazolam, 3,4 child, I'm not even trying, 4 bromo, 5 gamma hydro and ketamine. Child, I'm not even gonna bother with them names. Distribution and possession with intent to distribute and conspiracy to do the same, aiding, abetting, and willfully causing. Ooh, has anyone seen Farnsworth Bentley since he folded the umbrella? Bueller. Has anyone seen Farnsworth Bentley since he folded the umbrella? Where is that man? Wow. Remember, Farnsworth Bentley had a job to hold the damn umbrella, y'all. I mean, I'm sure he was a personal assistant, but child, whoo, fun times back in the 90s. Shout out to Ms. AB in the building. Thank you so much, hon. She says, are y'all going to send him a care package? I care to tell him you effed it all up, you big dummy. Shout out to Fred Sanford. Shout out to Fred Sanford. You big dummy. Now, tried and true, Diddy was out there acting like he was Nino Brown for sure. Will he tell?
I told you, this thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I got a list of proof. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me. Order in the court. You're incapable of running this shit. Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. Leave me. You know, man. Get the fuck out.
Shout out to Prince Elian. He said he folded off like Mary Poppins, right? That's what I'm saying. Child, Miss AB, I think he should. He's like, I'm gonna go down all by my damn self. Shine already took the fall, allegedly. Now he over there. Where he at, y'all? Barbados, running the country. He in one of them places I've been to. I forget which one it is. He over there running the country. He was like, all right, I'm a free man now. He became a ruler or whatever he is over there. It was part of the conspiracy that Sean Combs agreed that a conspirator would commit at least 2 acts of racketeering activity in the conduct of the affairs of the Combs enterprise. Notice of special sentencing factor. From at least or about 2009 up to including about 2018 in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere, part of this agreement to conduct and participate in the conduct of the affairs of Diddy, the defendant agreed to, in and affecting interstate of foreign commerce, knowingly recruit, entice, harbor, transport, provide, obtain, advertise, maintain, patronize, and solicit by any means a person knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that means of force, threats of force, fraud, and coercion, and any combination of such means would be used to cause the person to engage in a commercial X act. Belize, shout out to you, hon. Belize. You know what? I'm gonna have to look him up next time I go to Belize, child. Maybe we can get an interview with Shine. Count 2, ex-trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. The grand jury further charges 2009 on upward with all those same adjectives. He did all that. Coercion and everything. In any combination. Recruited, enticed, harbored, abetted, aided, attempted, willfully caused victim 1 to engage in commercial X acts, knowing and in reckless disregard of the fact that victim 1 was engaging in commercial X acts as a result of force, fraud, and coercion. So in other words, Diddy made him do it. All right, count 3 is transportation to engage in X work. And forfeiture allegation as a result of committing the offenses alleged in count 1 of this indictment, blah, 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 blah. Established, operated, controlled, conducted. I feel like they're saying the same stuff over and over again. In said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in United States currency representing the amount of proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. So in other words, they didn't found your money trail. As a result of committing the offense in count 2 of this indictment, as a result of said offense, including but not limited to a sum of money in the United States currency representing the amount of property involved in said offense and proceeds traceable to the commission of said offense. So they trace the damn money, basically, child. Substitute asset provision. If any of these above described forfeitable property as a result of any act or omission of the defendant cannot be located upon the exercise of due diligence, has been transferred or sold to and deposited with a third person, has been placed beyond the jurisdiction of the court, has been substantially diminished in value, or has been commingled with other property which cannot be subdivided without difficulty, it is the intent of the U.S. pursuant to this code to seek forfeiture of any other property of the defendant up to the value of the above forfeitable property. So what, they try and take his stuff? Is he gonna have a place that Damian Williams? Is he gonna have anything once he comes out? Diddy, are you gonna have anything by the time you come out? This too much. I can't take it. Yeah, I hope he set something up that was legal. Shout out to Keefus. I can't even imagine what them kids must be going through. Not like the dudes, no offense, but the girls basically, and the new baby. Oh, Lord. So that woman, there's a perfect example. In what year did that baby get born? Last year, 2023. So a woman, knowing all this information, knowing what was already going on, knowing already what well, maybe not the charges, but knew that he was under investigation, still said, I'm gonna lay my ass down with this ninja, get pregnant, and have a damn baby. But they want to point this like, oh, these poor women's. Oh, these poor women's. Is that what we doing? Is that what we doing? It looks like they have some of the lawyers speaking here. This is as of an hour ago. Diddy's lawyer speaks on his charges before heading into court. He's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. Sir, I know you getting paid to say that.
To surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him till about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life. And he's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. We know what the charges are going to be without seeing the indictment. It's going to be racketeering. It's going to be sex trafficking. It's going to be things along those lines. This is what we've been expecting since the searches in March. He came here to his great credit. He voluntarily came to New York. Not a lot of defendants do that. He came to New York to basically engage the court system and start the case, and it'll start today. And he's going to plead not guilty, obviously. He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might and the full confidence of his lawyers. And I expect a long battle with a good result for Mr. Combs.
Do you think he'll be released?
I'm going to fight like hell to get him released, and he should be released with all that he's done and coming here voluntarily. And guys, I'm going to cut it short because I have to go in. All right. So thank you. He to his great credit.
So where's the black lawyer? Where Ben Crump at? How come he ain't got no black lawyer? What's up with that? Helping the community, child. What's up with that? All right. So we know all this. We just read all this. Yeah. We read all that. Authority sees more 1,000 bottles of baby oil lubricant from Diddy's resident in March raid. We know that.
My details about the alleged arson.
Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide either. The number of victims, you are correct. We are intentional in saying multiple. The details of the arson incident are limited to what we have in the indictment and also the detention letter that we filed, which contains more details than the indictment does at various points. But we don't have anything more beyond that. Next question.
Lynn Tran, CNN.
As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well, we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. As part of this investigation.
Why they got to do it quickly? In case they get taken down too? Anyway, I don't know if there's anything left, child. This is crazy. Until he comes out or until they decide whether he's going to get bail or not. They out there trying to, or whatchamacallit is out there trying to, the lawyer And they're fighting for Diddy. Shout out to him for that, y'all. This too much. This is too damn much. Took Trump right off of the not that he was really on there, right off of the top story, didn't it? What's the top story? I was watching a news program this morning. First thing they said, Diddy. Second thing they said was Trump. First thing they said was Diddy, and then came Donald damn Trump. How? That's crazy.
Have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelmed? Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you ever been swallowed? I would have been. Have you ever been swallowed up? 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 Have you ever been swallowed?
Shout out to Prince Elian. Thank you so much, honey. He said, U.S. Attorney Smokey Black and the 7 Becky's, right? Ain't no way they was going to let them get up there and say nothing. They probably pulled him out the back room and said, look, Ninja, you the one that's going to go out here and be the spokesperson, because none of these Becky's is going to be allowed to do it. All right. I think that's it for now. I really do. There's other people who are alive, but I'm done with it, child. I got to get my nails done. So that's my up-to-date date. If something else happens, maybe I'll come back. If not, child, I'm supposed to be off today, right? All right. Then I'll see y'all tomorrow. Unless it's something good. Child, we won't be back till tomorrow. I think we should do Crime is Down, because crime is down. Crime is down, along with Diddy updates, of course. Yes, Mason Ridgewell, you are late. Okay, because we done. Shaking my head is all I can do these days. These people are crazy for sure. Is no limits to this foolishness, child. No limits whatsoever. All right, y'all. I appreciate you for hanging out while we go through this mess known as P. Diddy's life now. Hopefully all is well. Hopefully the man get out. If he get out, I'll definitely probably come back, y'all. Okay. Appreciate you. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. I'll see you all in the next one.